Hey guys and dolls. So first video back. I know I've been kind of MIA in the whole internet world in general. Kind of been lurking in and out on like Facebook and Twitter and stuff, but I've been seriously MIA for a long time. Long story in a nutshell. I got a new camera, which you guys already kind of knew about. Because I was getting a new camera, I rearranged my entire household. And I have an upstairs and a downstairs, so we carried heavy furniture upstairs and downstairs. Messed up my back in the process. Lots and lots of not fun. Working tons of extra hours at work too, so more than double what I normally work, or around double what I normally work, so yeah. On top of that, trying to learn this new gol darn camera and having massive issues with it. So all in all, a fun time for Cora. Not that I'm, trying to complain too much or anything, it's just that's why I haven't been around, is because I've had stuff going on, not because I haven't wanted to make videos. Whenever I don't film for a while, my brain just turns to mush when I try to film, so please bear with me. But I have been picking up some new makeup, and ooh, I almost dropped it. I went through hell and back trying to get these palettes. I literally went to, I think, 7 different Walgreens. I am not exaggerating. I went to like 4 or 5 different cities trying to find these bad boys. Finally got my hands on them all last weekend. So these new 8-pan palettes from Wet n Wild sell for $4.99. There's this one, the Comfort Zone, which is like a warm, neutral palette type thing. Blue Had Me at Hello. Yeah, how cute is that name? Obviously there's this delicious turquoise that needs no introduction, and then there's some like smoky blues and grays and stuff like that, and black. There's 2 different blacks in this palette. A twofer. And then this palette, which is called Petal Pusher. It's like pinks and purples and stuff like that. I'm gonna link you guys to my blog where I have swatches of all of these, but I can do quick finger swatches for you right now. So we're gonna start with the Petal Pusher palette, since it's actually my least favorite. I know, purple's like my life, and I seem to not like the purple palettes from Wet n Wild lately, which is really disappointing considering how much I loved the Lust palette. I loved this thing. I still do. It's not past tense. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this for you. In my opinion, the shadows on this side of the palette definitely swatch better. This one in particular, it's not my favorite kind of shadow, like an icy pink, but it's very, very pigmented, kind of like a Volux Pearl from MAC. The ones on this side of the palette are nearly identical to the ones that were from the Sugar Plum Fairy palette. I just really was not a big fan of that one. I felt that they were mostly just really chalky, and I don't know, I just was not a fan. But you definitely could make them work. I did do a video using them. Okay, and then we have Blue Had Me at Hello. Adorable name. So I'll go ahead and swatch these for you. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous colors. I'd say pretty much every single color in the Blue Had Me at Hello palette is a winner in terms of pigmentation, blendability, etc., so on and so forth. The only one that appears to be not super pigmented is this one right here, but it's a highlight shade, so I believe it's intended to be kind of sheerer. But I mean, honestly, I have enough frosty whites, so I'm not really crying about the fact that it's not like amazeballs. Alright, and then we come to the Comfort Zone palette. Definitely my favorite, so I'll go ahead and swatch these really quick. And by the way, the other palettes I was like rubbing, and this one I'm like barely even touching my hands. Do you see this? Like, oh, it's so pretty. So I would say this is kind of a neutral palette that leans more on like the warm side. So this one has everything from like a nice highlight. This one's called highlight shade, the Brow Bone. To me, it's way too like mushroom taupe or whatever toned to be used on the brow bone. Really gorgeous palette. There's all kinds of different textures. There's, this one which is like matte with shimmer, and then there's ones like this where it's like a Volux Pearl, and they're just totally awesome shadows. Again, they're only $4.99. As far as I know, they're only being sold at Walmart and Walgreens. I did notice that even the ones that didn't have them in stock yet had the display up, and they were getting them. They're part of the regular display if you go, not like a separate section, like sometimes they come out with like holiday collections or whatever that are separate. These are in the regular displayer, so cool. One of the things I noticed when I went to all these different Walgreens is that these new eyeshadow palettes, these 8-pan palettes, seem to be replacing the old 6-pan palettes in the display case. Like, these guys are dunzo gone, and these are taking their place. So I'm a little bit disappointed about that. Not that these new palettes aren't totally awesome and stuff, but, and obviously I have all 4 of these, so it's not like I need, you know, more or anything. But the thing is, these palettes are so fabulous, especially the Lust palette and the Vanity palette. They're just, I love them so much. And it was the only time that they've done a equal amount of shimmers and mattes. Or shimmers and mattes, there we go. So, and Wet n Wild makes some of the best matte shadows, definitely like the best, in my opinion, matte shadows at the drugstore. They're just phenomenal, really well pigmented, they blend like butter. These sold for $4.99 also, so I'm sad to see these go, is my point that I was trying to get to. Hopefully they'll bring some of these shadows back in the single forms. I actually have been collecting some of the single shadows lately. In fact, here's one right here that I just used for this tutorial, which is coming up. Yay! So yeah, all in all, I really like these palettes. The number one that I recommend is definitely Comfort Zone. I think it's really versatile. There's so many great, I mean, every single shadow in this palette is an absolute winner. There's like none of them that suck. This one right here, as I said, the only one that doesn't really impress me is this one here, but even then it's, you know, one shadow out of this many. Fabulous deal. And this one right here, I would probably skip. It's just, I don't know, it's not my cup of tea. Here's my thing. When you have like a deeper shade like this, I typically want it to be more pigmented because I'm usually not going to use that in a way that I want it to be sheer. However, using sheer colors underneath like a matte shadow that's hard to blend is a great way to use colors like that, so it's not like it's unusable. So yeah, I hope that helps. I hope you guys enjoyed my first video back to YouTube since my unintended hiatus, I guess you could call it. So anyway, I'll see you guys next time, and remember to always be yourself. So as I was saying, one of the things I noticed when I went to all these different Walmart or Walgreens, so the one thing I have noticed when I've gone to these 7 different Walmarts, these new palettes appear to be replacing, oh, one of them just fell. And it appears to be okay, so, okay.